Hey everyone, I'm Nabil Chowdhury and this is FightTalkTV. Today I'm sitting with someone who's a real warrior in and out of the ring, a former world champion, Kreshnik Qato. From Albania to UK, he has a career full of grit, heart, and big moments. Let's hear his story. What inspired you to start boxing, and how did your journey begin in Albania?
Well, to make all this discussion for 10 minutes is nothing, but we need to be one day, one night to talk about my story. When I started boxing, I was 10 years old. All my story is like my dad, he told my brother, he was 3 years older than me, he said to start boxing. And I was telling him, I want to start it, I want to start it. He told me, no, you are too young for boxing. I was 10 years old and they didn't let me to box. And my brother, he gone in the gym and I follow behind him there in the back to see where it is. And I find the club and I find the gym. For 1 year, I didn't tell my parents I'm going to go in the gym, I'm going in the gym. And after 1 year, I've become a champion. And for my age, junior champion. And they were surprised for them. And from that day, I start school, boxing school, and the uni as well for school, and everything was just part school. But my result was the champion. And I go in amateur boxing more than 200 fights. 7 times Albanian champion,
Wow.
Eastern European champion, and 2000 candidate for Olympic Games. And after, from 2000, we start straight away here from Frank Warren and Sky Sports and a lot of big name professionals. But to be honest, when I start professional, I wasn't recognized going to be so hard, because if I knew it, I never started. Because it's not only you doing training, you're selling tickets, you find a sponsor, you find a promoter, you find all the trainers, you find all supporters. It's very hard game, but I made it.
Can you describe your earliest memories of stepping into a boxing gym?
You know, my earliest memories that I remember like today is about 20 years ago when I done my first title in Ukraine. Because to be honest, I asked for help in Albania because I represented my flag, and because you will benefit from boxing. No one gonna say to you why you represented this and that. This is your choice. And thanks God, I represent Albanian, and I ask for help in Albania, all governments and all the people who support like amateur boxing. And they said yes. But I have to thank my coach Luigi Leo, which has support me a lot, because on the last minute, those people they left me, and I pay everything for to go in Ukraine to the first title, which is Eastern European title for me. 10 rounds is a lot. Still is a small title, but still title. You put in a ranking. And my coach said to me, "Don't worry, what I need from you, I need only the belt." And he paid for me, to be honest. And I was very grateful for him. I was very happy. I was excited. But to be honest, I never done 10 rounds in my life. On the fight number 8, I think. And number 8, that was very quick for me because no one wants to fight with me, because it was Olympic boxers, and when you are Olympic boxers, it's hard to find opponent because you are great class, you are open class, and that is the hardest and the memory. Like now, I remember everything in there. What to be honest, on this one, when in the funny was when the national anthem come in the ring, because you have to be like representing the country. Uh, some people, they told my coach is English, and they said to them, now just put your hand on your heart and put your mouth up, pretending everyone you knows you're Albanian. And the funny was, they told me, Nick, I don't know England national anthem. How can I know Albanian? And that memory was very, it looked funny, but it was bad for me, because imagine on 2,000 people in the stadium, they don't even want to support you. That is. But after that, when I get the title, thanks God, I win the title. I was very strong. I was very fit. Thanks God for everything. And I won the title. When I come back in London after with the title, I don't know how they come too many supporters on the next fight. 500-600 people on the stadium. I said, wow. But all the supporters, that I have to thank them, because they helped me a lot.
Who were your biggest boxing idols growing up?
But to be fair, all the fights, they are very hard. And the biggest boxers, especially when you fight in Albania, because I've been fighting for for title in Albania a lot of times, 7, 8 times, 12 rounds.
But who were your
Yeah,
which boxers did you look up to when you were young?
you
That was
know
the
the
question.
dream come true. I was Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones, yeah.
That's right, and
Oh, he's a good fighter,
you
man.
know I was dreaming to be like him. I was dreaming to meet him, and you know, to be funny is after 2 years when I come in this country, it's can come to my gym, and the dream come true. And I was shaking his hand, I was taking a photo, I was doing some training with him, and you know, I was a dream. I was couldn't believe I'll do something. Sometimes you don't give up on your dream because when you dream something, it come true. And I was dreaming the time come with John Jones with the best.
How many amateur fights did you have, and what have you achieved in your amateur career?
You
You
know, in
specified
amateurs,
you had 200 fights, right?
more than 200, no one remember because when you put the open class, no one write it.
Yeah.
Back on the day, 20, 30, 20, 15 years ago, no one write,
No one used to write it on the
no,
records.
no record. Just
But
when you
did they
say open,
specify what have you won? Like, did they
yeah, yeah, of course, of course, of course.
like no like what like titles you won? Would they
Yeah, yeah,
use
of
to write
course, of
down? Do you
course.
remember that?
All the fights in national fighters, which is like in Greece, I've been in Prague, I've been in Germany, in Italy. They are, of course, they are registered.
So
Especially
how many national
when
titles have you won?
in amateurs.
Yeah.
In amateurs, I stopped boxing in 2000 in amateur boxing because in 2000 I started professional. Okay, Albania was 7 times and one national title, which is Eastern European. We call him Zlatni Rukavica in Belgrade. It's Golden Gloves,
Yeah, yeah.
and was the big title for me, and for especially for Albanian, and because Albanian opened boxing in 1990, because this was communist country, did not let us to box on that day and after. But you know, for me, in amateur, record doesn't mean nothing. More important is experience when you think to turn pro. Because when you turn in pro, all the experience you have is easy to manage everything in the ring. After when you turn pro, you remember, you know what's going on. How is your fitness, how is your power, and how is your speed.
What did it mean to you to represent Albania on the international stage?
It's a lot. It's a lot, to be honest. But you know, I want to say thank you to all Albanian government because they helped me a lot as well. Every time I ask for something, they never say twice, just yes, straight away. Because to be honest, I was the most paid boxers in Albania because the time which I was sports boxing, no one get paid how much I get it. It's not that big to say for your country, but you are the biggest payers for Albania because they help you a lot. But of course, it's tell me a lot for Albania how to support them.
Did you face any challenges building a boxing career while coming from a small boxing nation like Albania?
You know, now we're doing a lot of show in Albania. For example, the last 3 months ago, because when I was to box, I was thinking this generation, where they're gonna go? They need to grow up. They need to have experience. They need to look after some youngest boxer, for example, and you need to look after them. For example, now this day when I'm retired, because I retired now, I go gym, I go boxers, I go live, I go everything. So why not you don't give experience to those people? And now we do show, especially every 2 3 months, the city where I live in Albanian Durrës, and all the experience which I have it for these people here as well, I take it to them.
How has Albanian boxing evolved since you started?
How,
Like, how has it developed over the years?
to be honest, now is easy for everyone. You can't say harder because on back on the day when I used to box, no social media, no contact with internet on the phone or those things.
Yeah,
This is harder
yeah,
because you
yeah.
need to go physical yourself. But on this day, everything is easy. You can be famous very quick just to be living smart, and you can have technology is help everyone.
What motivated your move to the UK and how did it impact your career?
You know, just boxing. I didn't know how it's going to be so hard. When my coach told me, why you not coming in London to represent your country or to do professional, it was my dream to be professional boxer, but I didn't know what is professional boxing. Now I can calculate it and now I can think. It was so hard to be on this step which I am. Of course, you enjoy it, but you're not gonna be rich in boxing. To be fair, because the thing is, the money you have it, you spend it for training, you spend it for all expensive. You go on holiday, your family, your wife, kids. You're not gonna be rich, but to have a life, you're gonna enjoy it.
What was the biggest fight or moment in your career while based in the UK?
Well, he got few boxers, which is for English title, which is about I think it's 10 years ago. Yeah, because the time is
That
really
was your
record.
biggest fight and
Yeah,
moment in
biggest fight
career,
in
the English title.
especially in England with English title. To win that one is eliminate for British title, which is the biggest one. And but for me, all the fights they are very hard, very strong because it's not just biggest name. Sometimes when you have the biggest name, the fights get more easy. But how pressure you have inside you, that is the hardest because what I mentioned when I box front of Albanian and in front of my supporters, this is a pressure for you because if you lose forever. It's not losing a fight. You lose in your career, you lose in everything because no one come to see you. This is boxing. No one come to support you next time. But all my feeling fights, it was in Albania because on the ring when you go inside you're thinking I'm gonna die. This sounds a little bit bad, but I'm gonna die in the ring.
Yeah, that's the
Otherwise,
reality of boxing. Yeah,
boxing, because you're gonna get hurt, no one gonna help you.
yeah, trust me.
If you turn your head from your corners, your opponent is gonna knock you out.
Yeah,
And this is for me all the fights when you box in front of your supporters, they are very hard. You can't say names for that.
out of all of titles you won, IBC, WBF, WBA Intercontinental, which one meant the most to you and why?
You know, WBF is the World Boxing Federation. Is the biggest title which I have it, 3 times defending. But I defend this one in Washington DC. I defend this one in Albania. I defend this one in Prague. And this is to make you put up the ranking on the top 10 in UK. Because if you are in a ranking not higher, all boxers they're waiting for one big payday. But I wasn't thinking for big payday. I wasn't thinking just supporting my flag, just supporting my supporters, my people. And in America was the biggest fight, David Estrada. I remember that name, and I'm not gonna take him out. But thanks God, I was very, very strong, very fast. I stopped in around 6, and I make everyone happy.
Were there any fights you considered turning points in your career? Do you understand the question?
What's that?
Were there any fights you considered turning points in your career? So, what type of fights that really excelled your career or made a rise? So, a turning point.
It's easy to say for one fight at a time, but all the fights for me was in a bigger career because every single step, every single fight, it show you how good you are. It show you the impression to other people. But most of one is for English title. They put in a top 5 ranking here as well because he was candidate to find John Ryder, Billy Joe Saunders, and the topest name in this country. And this is title which we have the biggest one in England.
What was your training routine like at the peak of your career? So, how was your training routine and your in your prime?
I was very loyal to the other people, the coaches and the clubs and everything. Whoever I have to remember my coach. He took me everywhere for sparring. He took me everywhere for fights. He never say no. I want to thank him. Like Phil Person is retirement now, but I still have connection with him because he grew me up. He put me in boxing. He put me in life. He put me in everything. And you know, and now I remember these boys which I have it in here. I'm never gonna stop for them because same thing would have done my coach. I'm to do with them. And because I was very friendly to everyone. I was communicating good. I was like family to everyone, to box, to training. To it's not like to say I was.
How did you mentally prepare for big fights before big fights?
That is another question because to prepare for fights, you need to go in training camp. Always, I was to go in training camp in France, in is Donking training camp. It's called in.
Donkey.
Yeah, Donking. On back in
Oh,
the day, 20 years ago, Donking was
oh, Donkey. Yeah,
yeah American promoter,
yeah.
matchmaker, manager. You have a big name. Then they have another trainer, another coach in France, Nicolas Rifat, and he's a big name over there. And every time I go for title fights, especially 12 rounds, I've been 6 weeks in the gym over there. Morning training, evening training. And one funny things I remember like today, because you know in this country, with Saturday, Sunday, you get used to get day off. But the first day when I go there, I was preparing to get Saturday off. And they told me, I remember like now, would you come in here for holidays? And that day I remember like no day off. Only if you feel sick, you're gonna go day off. I said, wow. For 6 weeks just training, sleep with gloves, wake up with gloves.
What made you decide to retire in 2014?
You know, 37 years old, you have everything. You have a name, you have a title, you have your ambition is not like beginners. I got 7 titles. I was dreaming to start professional. You started pro. I was dreaming to get a belt. You getting 7 belts. So on the future, you're dreaming to get to be a millionaire, but I already said you're never gonna have millionaire. How many millionaires you know in this country to have the money for boxing? Never, because there are maybe one or two, and still, if you get 100K, you're gonna get only 40% on your pocket. You're never gonna get those money on your side because it's the rules. And the thing is, you're never gonna think for one thing what you see on TV. Just just for a dream. And now you have all these things. You don't have to say. And thing is, retirement, you can feel it yourself. When you go to the fight, you don't have ambition. You're not gonna be dead. Are you still? You're not hungry. You're not like beginning when you started. But new generation, they are very strong. They are very hungry. You have experience, but it's not enough. You need to, and decide it's time to retire. 39 fights in pro, 30 wins, 90 lost.
How has your life changed since stepping away from professional boxing?
First few weeks was hard because I wasn't trying like
Yeah,
before, like morning, evening. But you need to accept reality. The age going up, one big cut it costs you life. And when you cut, especially sparring, because more hard is sparring than fight because you're not controlling too much yourself. And one cut, it's gonna cost you 37 years old. And you know what? I decide to get tired because no more. Your body understand. It's not more and finish it. No more fight.
are you still involved in boxing as a coach, mentor, or promoter?
Well, I'm for everything here now in this gym, but I have to thanks Ali, which is the main one, because he give me access for everything, and I control the boys, boxers, promoting, matchmaker, look after them, for medical, for registering, for everything, for the gym. And yeah, I'm happy, because every week you fight in amateur, so you still that excitement, and especially in boxing, people knows you, and when you see in a corner, they are a little bit worried. Because good fighters, so you're trying to good boxers. But I'm happy with what I'm doing.
What advice would you give to young fighters from Albania or other small country trying to make it internationally?
You know, this is what I said from the beginning. Never give up for a dream. All your sweat you done in the gym or anything work you're doing outside, never gonna go out. It's gonna come one day and you're gonna remember the things. But never give up. This is more important.
Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently in your career?
No, no,
No.
because you see a lot of boxers that have a big name, the name gone.
Yeah.
No one remember. But when I go back to Albania now, everyone remember. Like 15 years ago, I done fights. I remember like yesterday. They taking autograph, they taking photo with me, and look like wow. I remember those people because in the country here, we have different mentality. Over there, you're representing us, you work for us, and we love you forever. This is a word for them. And every time I go in the border, in the police station to ask for people, and in the restaurant, in the coffee, and everywhere we go, just people remember you. Maybe physical, not too much, but name. Oh yeah, of course, Kreshnik is the best. He's our champion.
How do you want to be remembered by boxing fans?
Well, for now, I'm not thinking anything for that because I'm still boxing. But maybe in the future, I'm happy to give everything. Numbers.
How has your family supported your journey during
Yeah,
and after the boxing career?
that is the first thing because my wife is support me a lot. You know, everything you have on your shoulder is you miss it. I'm saying you why because he look after you, he give you space, he give you everything. Because in boxing it's not only training, you need to look after for food, you need to look after for your clothes, you need to look after for everything. I was gonna look after this. You miss it. And otherwise, if you don't have any help for you, but I'll thanks all the time when I go and interview those things, so she knows.
What does success mean to you today?
Well, this is all career I've done it, but this I said from the beginning. To talk 20 minutes for boxing all my life is just like you say nothing. But it's a lot because the thing is, people still remember you, and people still got that impression when you was boxing because on back on the day you need to be physical to talk to people. On this day it's easy, you can see online and finish. But on back on the day when you walk and work hard, people remember. On this day to watch interviews in media or social media on TV is easy for everyone. Yeah, I saw Kreshnik on TV, very good. But when you walk with him around and you see straight close to him, it's different.
What are your goals outside the ring now?
What is that second?
What are your goals outside the ring now?
No,
You don't have
now
any goals
just
outside the
boxing,
ring, just boxing related to.
just boxing. Because
Okay,
my head is just people gloves, wake up with gloves.
okay. Big thanks to Kreshnik Qato for sharing his journey with us. I'm Nabil Chowdhury and this is Fight Talk TV. If you enjoyed the conversation, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more stories from the fight world. Thank you.